right, we're live yet again. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Geekdom podcast. Back again, as every week, because I always mess up that with Nate. Nate, how you doing this week?
Pretty good. Still dealing with internet issues, but other than that, it's been a pretty solid week.
I can understand internet problems and such. They happen sometimes, unfortunately.
Hmm
And I just spilled water all over my shirt literally seconds before we started, so I'm just going to do this and act like it's not there.
I
yeah,
don't see anything. I don't
yeah,
see anything.
yeah. I mean, I see hands. That's all I see is
Yep.
hands.
I see hands.
But yeah, so we're back again, yet again this week with quite a bit of news,
Hmm
and go ahead and get into the first thing. You know, it's going to be the majority of our news for this week, but the new consoles are here. People have them.
Yeah.
Some people have them. Some of us got their pre-orders delayed by a month, and
Oh.
yeah. So yeah, but but the new consoles they're out there. People are scrounging around trying to get their hands on them, doing the best they can.
Yep.
But you know, a lot of the games look like, especially the PlayStation launch lineup is reviewing very well. I don't think there was anything exclusive in the Xbox lineup, so yeah. and I actually saw an Xbox in the store Friday. Right, Friday. Yeah,
Really?
yes. One just sitting there, and I looked at it and I contemplated it, and I was like, nah, I'm good. So just because I didn't get my PlayStation when I wanted doesn't mean I need to go out and buy an Xbox. It doesn't. There's nothing on it that makes me go, yeah, I'll get that instead.
No, I mean I completely agree with that.
Plus, after having Game Pass for the better part of the last year and never using it, I'm finally letting that go too.
I mean, there. Let's be real. There's no real reason to have it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think it's still funny. A lot of the promotional trailers for the Xbox right now still have Halo in them,
Hmm
and it's like, yeah, remember guys, that didn't ship. And then I've seen some advertisement with Cyberpunk in it. It's like, yeah, that didn't ship either.
No,
So, and most of the PlayStation lineup is reviewing really well for the most part.
I
So,
think all of it really is. I don't think anybody really had anything bad to say about any launch title.
yeah, yeah, and I think the one that's, of course, the one that probably reviewed the best is Demon Souls.
Hmm
So go ahead and pull up some Metacritic scores here. And the one that reviewed the weakest looks to be Godfall. So nobody's
But
surprised by that.
I I don't know, man. Godfall looks good to me.
I mean, yeah, it does look good, but it just doesn't sound like the loop of fun is there for long.
It honestly seems like another anthem, but
Uh, I mean, it could be. I mean, right here, I'll run down the whole entire launch lineup's Metacritic scores. Demon Souls 93, no one's surprised.
mhm.
Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition got 88 on Metacritic. Yeah, talk about shocking there. Call of Duty
Yeah.
Black Ops Cold War's getting an 86. I'm sure I'll talk about that more later. Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales is getting an 85. And
That's actually a little lower than I thought it would
well,
be.
I think it is based on from what I've heard. The game isn't very long.
Right, yeah.
So Astro's Playroom, which I've seen a lot of people on Twitch have fun with, just playing around with it. It's got an 83.
Hmm?
Pathless, which I got a code for the other day, is an 82. Sackboy, which is I believe the game that comes with the console for free. Right? Or is it Sackboy? Or no, Astros is what comes
Yeah.
with it for free. Sackboy's got a 78, but that wasn't going to appeal to everybody anyways. Bug Snacks has a 74, and I think that's more of people just crapping on it because it's kind of a kiddie game.
Right.
And then Godfall at the bottom with a 63. But I mean, that's 9 titles in the launch lineup that depending on who you're talking to, they're excited for different things. Really
Mm-hmm.
surprised Devil May Cry 5 got an 88, but I guess the original might have got somewhere along those lines and it just kind of transferred over.
Right.
But yeah, so launch lineup looks strong, and like I said, Demon Souls was is the big one, the big set, the one that's probably pushing the most units too. I'd imagine maybe it and Spider Man kind of close to each other, but with the launch of Demon Souls, is the rumor now that Sony is in the process of acquiring Blue Point Studios,
Yep.
which just makes sense. Like,
It does. It
like
does.
they've used them now for several remasters and remakes, and it's been quality every time.
Yep.
Technically, they redid Shadow of the Colossus twice.
Yeah.
Like they brought it from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 and then remastered it over to PlayStation 4. And the amazing work they've done with Demon Souls. Like, and with the amazing work they've done with Demon Souls, I would go on to say that if worst comes to worst, they could be the ones to make Bloodborne 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's not the only thing Sony's looking to acquire right now. And the second part is official that Sony is in the process of finalizing the deal to acquire Crunchyroll.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which was kind of weird, but I mean, I'm not against it.
yeah, yeah. No, it's just another nice streaming service to have.
Right. Yeah.
Like I don't know if at that point if its console exclusivity would just shift to being on you know on PlayStation. Like I'm sure that. I mean, I wouldn't think they would make the app exclusive to PlayStation and take it off Xbox, but then at the same time, you never know. But but yeah, it is. It's pretty interesting to see them start acquiring things, and I don't think they're done acquiring studios. Uh, I think
No,
that
probably not.
I think they've got some interesting things going on that you know eventually we're gonna hear what Kojima's doing and whatever this deal is with Konami that's been rumored for so long. So so Sony's getting this console generation started on the right foot. But in our next bit of news this week is apparently some people uh, don't quite understand how all the different editions of things work on consoles right now. Because it seems like a lot of PlayStation 5 owners have been downloading the PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty Cold War. And apparently, though, it's an option, which is kind of weird. But at the same time, like, you just gotta read the words and be like, no, that's the PlayStation 4 version.
Well, well, that's true. If you did do like the download all,
Mm-hmm.
it instead of like partitioning it into like because I don't know if this COD's like Modern Warfare where you could download Warzone, but if you selected download all
Uh-huh.
and then you just pressed play, sometimes the PS5 was just defaulting to the
Four.
PS4 version for
Yeah.
no reason.
Yeah.
Like
But no, I will say that Warzone is not included in the download. But
that's probably later, I would
well, no,
guess.
no, no. See, it is integrated, technically integrated. But whenever you click on Warzone in Cold War,
Hmm.
it takes you to the screen to download Modern Warfare.
God.
So as of right now, which I'm sure they'll probably fix that at some point later, uh,
Right.
you have to have both of them installed if you want to play Warzone, which is a lot of space. A
Yeah. Oh,
lot of space.
oh yeah. It's not small by any means.
And yeah, and having both of those on top of each other, which I think we have some stuff on it, but later on. But we'll go ahead and touch on it. Like I think the next gen version of Call of Duty, as it sits right now on your hard drive, is like 160.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't check to see what it is on PlayStation 4, but mostly because I don't have storage problems. But I know a lot of people do. But it's just one of those it is what it is type of situations.
Right, right.
But
Yeah, that game is huge in my opinion for absolutely no reason.
mhm.
Like it doesn't need to be that big, but
Yeah, well,
what do
yeah,
I know?
yeah. Somebody made a really good point the other day too. Like it's all small missions broken up individually. The maps aren't massive or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then think of a game like Spider-Man and look how big that city is and how big that map is and how many extra
Right.
things there is on that. And it is oh, it's less than half the size.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I
And then I look at Destiny 2. Destiny 2, and we'll talk about Destiny 2 more here in a minute, but basically the size of that game after this expansion came out dropped almost 40 gigs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And there's still a lot in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's something else right now. The Activision, and it always ends up with all these Call of Duties always end up at least over 100 gigs at some point. Even on the old console on PlayStation 3, like by the time you got to the end of a life cycle with a Call of Duty game, it was 100 gigs.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, it's a little crazy. And and some of these consoles, like the new Xbox, uh, which we'll talk about later. The storage or right now on the next gen console, storage is not great.
no, it's not at all. Like what these people are wanting you to put like 3 or 4 games on your hard drive and you're done.
Basically, yeah. And I look at my PlayStation 4 right now, and I have 128 games installed on my PlayStation 4.
Right.
But our next bit of news this week is I talked about it a second ago. Destiny, the new expansion has launched, and I haven't
Mm-hmm.
slept since. So, and my hair shows because like my hair is so stressed out, it won't even lay down. So, yeah, I have played it extensively, to say the least. Averaging about 5 hours of sleep a night, and trying to get raid ready. I've got 6 more days for the raid.
How
Uh,
close are you?
uh, I one character is almost there, but it's one of those things where the way leveling and everything works. So like I start
Mm-hmm.
on this character, I get it as far as it can go. So I go to my next character, take the guns from the first character, transfer them over to the next character, and it makes that one level faster and 5 to 10 levels beyond where that one got.
Right.
Now today I'm starting my third character and I transferred over the weapons and it's already higher than my first character ever dreamed of being. And
Rinse and
yeah, yeah,
repeat that. Yeah.
yes, yeah. And this is my last character to do for this week. I'm just finishing up the weeklies and a couple of exotic quests. They added some interesting exotic weapons to the game. Like there's a grenade launcher that shoots ice, stuff like that. You know,
That's
the
neat.
the new super abilities are really cool. I was really excited for the warlock one, but I've actually ended up enjoying the hunter one a lot more. It's like you jump up in the air and you have these two ice pickaxes. You throw them down and they create these whirlwind tornadoes that kind of track and
Mm,
run around and go around freezing things.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's very nice. And then the Titan one is basically uh you know Titan Smash through ice.
I mean, yeah, it's what Titans do.
It's what Titans do.
I mean, that's the best way to explain it. It's
Mhm.
just what Titans do.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, and at some point, I'm gonna a lot of crazy lore tied into this expansion that has been literally paying off for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like years of hidden lore are coming out in this expansion, and it's a lot of fun. And next weekend, I'll be spending my weekend, beating my head off the wall trying to day one. I'm part of, working on the day one raid race. So,
I'm sure you guys will get day one.
oh yeah, day one, yeah. But I wouldn't hate for world's first.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I would like that big championship belt.
Do you think there's a real chance for you guys to grab that?
I have a very competent team. I will say that. A very competent team of hand-selected people from inside of our clan that I believe can get it done.
That's good. That's good, man. I hope so.
But yeah, I will definitely be streaming that, so everybody will be able to watch as everything probably goes in and falls apart. But yeah, so next podcast we'll have some more news on that, and I'll be able to talk
Hmm.
about the raid and some more of the shenanigans, and
Yeah, yeah, you'll be able to dive a little bit more in depth once you get to in game.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But our next bit of news this week is a game we talked about last time, and it's getting a new level. Phasmophobia is getting a new level.
And it's a prison.
Yeah, it's a prison, which is, and I mean, I imagine it's just going to be massive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it has to be a large map. Like I imagine it's going to be so big that in my mind, it should be 6 people.
Yeah. And that's I was actually gonna bring that up. Like I'm super cool with them putting in new levels and things such as that. But you're gonna have to like bridge that gap somewhere because even the asylum, in my opinion, is too big for 4 people.
It really was, and
And
crazy
if
easy to
it's
get lost in there.
yeah, and if it's bigger than that, I don't know how I feel about 4 people. That's just me. Um, I'm glad they are making updates to it as quickly as they are, though. That shows a little bit of promise, so the
Mhm.
game doesn't die immediately. Um, because I think we kind of see that rinse repeat with a lot of games that are big in the streaming world.
Yeah.
Is it'll hit super hard for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and then after that 2 weeks and no update, it just disappears again. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're hoping, and I saw also where like the most active day that the game ever had was Halloween Day, which is duh, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's nice to see that they are going to continue rolling out more content, and yeah, so I hope they keep at it, just keep plugging away at it, and the game is still technically early access, so
It is, but kinetic games at a larger party.
yeah.
Like that's all we're asking.
Yeah. Yeah, I like. I believe, yeah. Any even in any of the large maps, and
Hmm.
this one sounds like, of course, it's going to be large. I think it should be 6. Like, yeah, you can limit it to 4 or less in the mediums and smalls, but yeah, I believe it needs to go up to 6 in the larger map.
And that's completely acceptable. You
Uh,
know, you could even limit like the early ones to 2 people. There's
yeah,
no problem with that
yeah,
because some
yeah,
of those super small maps you don't need more than 2 people.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Say the small maps are 2, the mediums are 4, the larges are 6.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's perfect in my opinion. We'll have to see if they actually do
Yeah.
that. I kind of doubt it, but
Well, I doubt they would go back and limit the small maps, but
right.
I could see them adding to the bigger. And but yeah, so hopefully, like I said, they just keep going at it, and we can see where it goes from there.
Mhm.
But the next bit of news, and it's not even really news, it just made me laugh, is KFC Gaming tweeting making fun of the delay of Cyberpunk, and basically fake announcing that they were delaying their KFC console, and like the same font, the same layout as the Cyberpunk. Like the
Oh yeah.
KFC Gaming is basically trying to become the new Arby's Twitter, because like the Arby's Twitter, like whenever a new game comes out, you always see some crazy like handmade advertisement with like their food in it that includes the game. So it's fun to see other Twitters reaching out and doing stuff like that.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I love companies doing this
yeah,
though.
absolutely.
I think it's all in good fun.
Yeah,
Um, and to be fair, somebody needed to rib the fuck out of Cyberpunk.
yeah.
I mean, it's needed it for a hot minute. And this is the first like professional company, I guess you could say, that's really been like, ah, poke the bear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah. But our next bit of news this week is one that I'm not completely surprised about. Marvel's Avengers, its sales have been poor,
Yeah,
and yeah, the other day it hit its lowest concurrence on Steam that it's ever had, and man, that was some low numbers.
under 500, I believe it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Yes, under
Yeah, I
500
mean,
people playing.
that's a dead game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
basically.
it's already dead.
Before it ever got its first character expansion, the game died.
It's dead. Yeah.
And like, it's gonna take a hell of a rework to bring it back up
Oh
at
yeah.
this point.
Oh yeah. Um. I don't. The To me personally, I don't see it ever coming back. I think it's just dead. I don't think, regardless of what they do, like if you don't get hype on launch, it's normally an uphill battle,
Yeah.
and normally uphill battles in the gaming world don't work out.
Like,
So
yeah, like yeah. I mean, they could go in and rework it and stuff, and release a rework with the Spider-Man character, but still, yet the Spider-Man character is exclusive to PlayStation.
right, and
Yeah.
like even on top of that, like is your rework going to be enough to get people engaged enough to pay full price for your game? Probably not going to happen.
Yeah. No, yeah, and it's probably going to need a massive price cut
Oh yeah.
in the process to get that done too. Like, it's going to need to become a $20 game now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just to give it hope
Yeah.
of not dying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of initially wanted to buy and play this game, but after this, I'm probably not gonna buy and play this game. Period.
Yeah, and see,
I'm glad I waited.
yeah, and it was one of those things where like, I was all about it for a hot minute and was gonna,
Hmm.
play through and platinum it, and yeah, it just like I've seen so many people that platinum the game to be like, I'm glad this is over. I'm ready to delete the game,
Hmm.
and I don't want to
Yeah.
do that anymore when it comes to trophies. So like, I don't want to play a game so much that I despise it just for
Right.
trophies.
Yeah. Of course.
There's a lot of games out there that I absolutely loved all the way to the getting my last trophy like Ghost of Tsushima, and other things I could probably think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's just that they've got an uphill battle ahead of them now, and Square paid a lot of money, I'm sure, for that licensing deal.
Oh yeah. I bet they paid a ton of. Wait, I think it said somewhere how much they lost. Hold on.
Let's see.
Let me read through this one more time. Square Enix has already reported this week that it suffered a $48 million loss in its HD games division due to a lower than expected sales of Marvel's Avengers. 48 million.
Luckily for Square Enix, they also released Final Fantasy VII Remastered this year.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped a lot, but like,
But
it's
they still lost $48 million along the way.
yeah,
Yeah, and but they microtransaction the shit out of that game.
oh yeah,
Like in ways I haven't seen before. Like the game that had fairly aggressive microtransactions, but I also paid a lot of them was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like
uh huh,
there was the XP booster and all the armor and mounts and stuff you could get. And I bought a lot of that stuff. Like I've said it many a times. I put over $200 into that game and don't regret it. But they were putting individual passes on every character in the game, so it was like $10 a character, unless you bought them all together, and then you got like $20 discount on the whole thing or something
right.
stupid like that. Like it should have never been that. Like I mean, that's me is ridiculous. But we'll just have to see where it goes, and eventually, once it becomes a $20 game and they rework some stuff, it might be worth it again. But I doubt it.
I,
Like
d- I
there's so many new games coming out, and we're bridging into a new console generation that doesn't really look like it has too much dead space in its release schedule right now.
yep.
That people could come back to this game. But
I just don't think it. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't have any faith
no,
that this game is going to go anywhere. I'm pretty sure it's just dead in the water. Which is sad.
yeah.
It shouldn't be super dead in the water, but it really is.
But yeah. So like it might help it a little bit that it is cross generation buy. So if you bought it on PS4 or Xbox One, it will carry over.
Right.
But
And
still,
I mean that may help, but I still don't even see that really doing much, man.
no, not completely. When I think about it, say you're somebody that maybe just got started into gaming, in the last year
Mm-hmm.
or so, and you got a PlayStation 4 and you played a little bit, and now you got a PlayStation 5. The moment you got a PlayStation 5, not only did you have all the games you had before, but now Sony gave you like a 20 game backlog
Yep.
of other stuff that you probably never got to as a new gamer. Like, why would you go back and do something like this when you still have God of War and The Last of Us and
Right.
Days Gone and Battlefield and Batman and all that stuff staring you in the face that you got for free?
Yeah. And I mean we all know the answer.
No,
Like nobody's going to do it.
no,
So
no. Like I said, it will take a massive rework and a whole new marketing campaign, really,
yep.
to get it going. So,
And I'm just gonna be realist. It's not gonna happen.
no,
Like whoever thinks that's gonna happen, it's more than likely not. This if you spent your money on it, I'm sorry. This game is like heavily co-op.
mm-hmm.
And with the numbers under 500 concurrent, you can't play a multiplayer co-op game with under 500 concurrent worldwide.
Yeah,
It's just not
yeah,
gonna happen.
yeah. You have to imagine that uh, that just finding a random lobby to get into is nearly impossible.
Yep. So it's rough.
But yeah. So like I said, we'll just have to wait and see where it goes. But Nintendo this week, in our next news story, ended up accidentally leaking one of their own games.
They did.
Yeah, in quite a funny way. So, for a lot of people who don't know, they kind of accidentally leaked the fact that they're bringing Metroid: Samus Returns,
Yep.
which was a 3DS game, right at the end of the 3DS's life cycle. So much so that it came out after the Switch came out. They're now
Yep.
bringing it to the Switch, and that's good because I never got to play it.
I
So,
was gonna say that's a really good move. Um, and like some of their like huge handheld titles
hmm,
for the 3DS, just moving all of those over to the Switch would be a great idea. I mean, it's a handheld,
yeah.
so
Yeah, like if they're doing what they're doing with Pokemon right now, it seems like they're
mhm.
gonna just be doing DLC for this one for a while until
Oh yeah,
they release the next one. Why not put out an X and Y collection?
right, exactly.
Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire collection.
Yep.
Like it just makes sense to do things like that. And there was other great games. There was that Square Enix RPG that I was going to say the name of, and then the name escaped my mind. So. But yeah, it was good. It has a sequel on the way for the Switch. So Bravely Default. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Bravely Default 2 is coming to the Switch. Why not re-release Bravely Default 1? Maybe you just do it as a download, but that's up to them. Just there was a lot of things that got trapped on the 3DS, and the 3DS wasn't the most popular thing Nintendo's ever done. I owned one eventually, you know. I own a couple of them, but still own one. But it's put away in my closet for safekeeping. Well, it was one of the collector's edition. Like, I got stupid lucky and got a decent price on it. But so yeah, it's just smart that they keep doing stuff like this. You know, the remasters of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. You know,
Right.
next year is the 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna drop something.
Yeah, yeah. If it's a collection like they did for Mario,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's a day one purchase for me yet again. So I would love a collection that maybe had Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and like Skyward Sword.
Oh yeah, like I would buy that
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
So
and then if they even if they wanted to also put out the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD, I would buy those too. Twilight Princess
yeah,
HD probably gets its own thing. Wind Waker might get its own thing. Or maybe they just maybe they just go, instead of putting Majora's Mask on there, they go Ocarina, Wind Waker, Skyward Sword. You know. That way, it's kind of covering multiple generations in a way that like Mario did. But yeah, I'm excited. It doesn't have a release date, but I'm sure when it comes out, I will purchase it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, new Metroid content is always nice. And but our next news story is one we talked about on the show, and it was rumored at one point to be coming out last month, and it never got announced. And now it finally got announced, and that is the Mass Effect collection.
Hmm.
It's going to be coming out. I believe it just says spring right now. I don't think they have an official date on it yet. Uh,
No, not that I've read, but
yeah,
it is spring.
yeah. So yeah, and we'll get all three games, all the DLC
Hmm.
coming to all the consoles. So, which is
Which,
always nice.
yeah, I was gonna say, which is great. It's good they're throwing it out to all consoles. Uh,
Yeah, you can even play it on your Switch.
yeah,
Yeah, and
which I don't know how it's gonna run on Switch. I'm
well, I
just
mean,
saying.
Mass Effect 3 ran great on the Wii U.
Yeah, it did.
Like that's actually where I played most of Mass Effect 3 was on the Wii U. Oddly enough. Like I never had a coherent story with that game. I played Mass Effect 1 on PC, played Mass
Hmm.
Effect 2 on PS3, played Mass Effect 3 on the Wii U. Like I didn't get to carry over my save. But yeah, it's just nice that it finally got announced. And that's probably another day one purchase for me as well. We'll see where the apples lie on that one. It depends
Uh,
on what's going on at the time. Right now, we don't have a full spring calendar.
right,
Like
right.
we know roughly everything we're getting through February. So let's see how the spring starts to fill out, and it might end up just hitting that perfect spot. You know, where there's not a lot going on, and people end up going back to Mass Effect.
I was never a huge Mass Effect fan, so I'm probably not gonna pick it up regardless.
Well, I didn't finish one or three, but I did finish two. Like two was the one that hit, just like perfect hit for me. But yeah, I never did finish the other ones, but maybe I go back and give them all a try this time. Who knows? Maybe I just skip one again completely and start on two. You never know. You never know how I'm feeling from day to day.
I mean, yeah, it's always up in the air.
But our next story is Remedy, which I feel like we've talked about this PS5 Ultimate Edition of Control so many times now.
Hmm.
They've officially delayed the upgrade for the PS5 version until next year. And at the beginning of this, I was hoping they would kind of get their crap together and make the upgrades free for people that have went ahead and bought all their stuff. And then didn't have a complete problem with it myself because I never bought the DLC, and the DLC is the same price as the Ultimate Edition. And now this is getting delayed, and it's just like, come on, guys, like get
Right,
it
yeah.
together at this point. You can't be like, oh, I'm sorry, guys, we're a small independent studio. Epic bought you this year.
Yep,
You have Epic money now. You don't
you
need,
do.
yeah, like, you can get your crap together and do better.
Yeah, just do some work. It sounds like laziness.
Yeah. Basically, what it is at this point? Pure laziness, but
I mean, there's nothing else you can attribute it to.
yeah.
Like you said, they got the money.
Mm-hmm. They absolutely have the money. Wow. Uh, Interesting. No,
What?
I got distracted by football. Uh,
Oh,
I saw that DeAndre Swift ended up finishing second in the entire league today in points.
yep,
Like he beat Aaron Rodgers, which made me laugh.
yep.
But back to video games. Uh,
Yeah,
but
sorry about
yeah,
that.
no, yeah, it distracted me though too. Don't worry, it was on me. Uh, but yeah, it's just I don't know what to say about this anymore. I don't know how to feel about it anymore. I just hope they kind of get their crap together. But
I kind of still feel the same way about
yeah,
them when they deemed that you only got next gen if you
yeah,
bought the Ultimate Edition. I
yeah,
still think that's fucked up. Um, I don't know. It's just me.
yeah. And you know, a lot of people are doing the free upgrades this time, and it makes them look bad. But you know, why not just say, all right, if you own everything else, give us
Hmm.
$10.
Right? Yeah.
You know, Call of Duty was a $10 upgrade. You know, spoilers, I paid it. You know, Call of Duty actually has a version of it that gives you both versions of the game. So for for $10 extra. So that's the version I bought. And you
Which
know,
is understandable.
yeah,
Like, I don't know what companies they're. I just feel like companies are trying to jip us at this point. So,
but yeah, it's just weird. But next bit of news is more back to our consoles and the storage problems they seem to have. The PlayStation 5 is not compatible with expanded storage right now. They said it is coming at some point, but it is not right now.
right.
And Xbox pretty much has the same problem. Like Xbox has an external storage for their console that cost a lot, like over $200. But whenever you hook up the new Xbox, it only has 364 gigabytes of available space.
Yep.
Yeah, at least with the PS5 has double that. So yeah, it's a problem they're both having right now, and this does happen sometimes at the beginning of console generations. And now that they're switching over to SSDs, that makes everything more complicated. And you can use technically, from what I've read, you can use external storage for a PS5 right now, but it's only to hold PS4 games. It will only hold. You cannot put a PS5 game on an external storage device.
Yeah. Which is weird,
Yeah.
but
Well, I have a feeling it has a lot to do with the load times and how things load differently from an external device versus this amazing SSD that Sony has made to go in this console. I've yet to see a load time. So
same. And I kind of really want a comparison between Xbox and PS5.
I'm sure it's if it's not already out there, there's that one YouTube channel that does like all the high end tech stuff.
Oh yeah.
If they haven't done it already, then they're working on it. You know. But oh wow. Yeah, I'm sure that I'm sure they're working on all that stuff. And for some reason, I don't know why I can't remember the name of that channel. But I don't know what they would compare it on. Maybe Call of Duty would be like because you want the same game. You know, can't be like, all right, here's Spider-Man versus randomness on Xbox.
Right.
But yeah, and one of the problems though, why people are complaining about the storage so much is the ridiculousness of Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
Being this ridiculous number on next gen consoles already out of the gate, you know, and it's kind of we talked about it earlier though. It's just ridiculous. And but our next bit of news for this week is Dead by Daylight, which I've been playing a lot, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. when we get to what you've been playing, has the weirdest new character on the way. It's like a set of like semi-conjoined looking weird ass twins,
Yeah.
and like they could separate, and each one of them have different abilities. Like the one can ping people, and the other one can't, and it's weird. It's just really weird, but also really interesting. And I'll probably purchase it to play with it just to see, because I have been playing that game quite a bit lately. Like it might hit the backlog a little bit now that me and my clanmates have other things to play with each other,
Right.
like Call of Duty, which I'll also talk about. But it's interesting to see, to say the least. But our next bit of news also is things I didn't know existed but are apparently on the way. Is called Portal Reloaded, which is a fan made add-on for the original Portal that actually adds another portal to the gun and remasters a bunch of the levels in the game.
Right. Yeah. Which is crazy. And, I kind of didn't think they would allow.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I first saw it, I was like, is Valve publishing this? Because
Right.
and it's available on Steam. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it 100% tells me that Valve is just like, yeah, it's an add-on. You do whatever you got to do.
Which, to be fair, Valve never really had much against people modifying CS:GO maps. Like I know Dust 2 is just modified by members of the community, and Valve was like, "Sure, we'll put that in." So they kind of have a history of doing this anyway. But Portal seems like a game they still care about, where CS is a game they don't care about.
Not anymore, that's for sure.
Um, so it just seems weird to me that they would be like, "Yeah, sure, we'll throw this in there. You seem like you know what you're doing."
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. It's just me.
But no, yeah, I 100% agree with that. And it looks like it's going to be fun, and I guess it's supposed to be out by the end of the year. So,
Hmm.
and I own Portal, so I'll go ahead and get this and give it a try.
I don't think I own the original. I have Portal 2.
I think that, every Steam sale they always have like this like Valve collection or something in it, and it gets cheaper for every game that you own in it. And at one point, it was like $12 for a dozen games for me, and I was like, "All right, you win. I'll I'll pay for your wares."
I mean, they're as much as I don't want to say it, they're good at it.
Yeah, and they are absolutely good at it, and yeah, so it'll be fun to try whenever it comes out. But our next bit of news this week is Among Us. Just got a big update.
Oh yeah.
And I actually have to click on this because there's actually quite a bit in this. New update.
Electrical,
Oh, don't you dare, GameStop.
I think that's where I was.
Stop it. uh, much easier to report players for bad behavior.
Yep.
It's adding like an account system, fixes some bugs, option to vote, you, anonymously. God damn it, I can't speak. But that's actually pretty interesting. So you don't know who voted for who. You just see if somebody gets kicked or not at the screen. That's interesting. The accounts are coming to the game in December. You'll be able to track your progress and eventually create a friends list, which God is so much needed in that game. Instead of using codes all the time. Working on getting some of the hacking issues.
Yep.
There's a new map on the way. So yeah, they've got a lot coming, and I'm glad they're like they said they're continuing to work on the game instead of making a sequel after the game became massively popular. So, and I'm just glad to see him keep going at it. But our next bit of news this week, which is more something for me and people that still like to collect physical games, is Five Nights at Freddy's is finally getting physical copies of the games to come out, and
And
I'm excited to own them.
I've actually never played one,
Mm-hmm.
but this may make me buy it
Yeah.
because I'm kind of in the same boat with you. I prefer to have physical copies of games. I
Mm-hmm.
just dig it. There's
Yep.
something nostalgic about it. Um, so yeah, I may actually end up buying this game now that it's coming to a physical copy.
Yeah. Yeah. So the physical copy will be a collection of the regular games, and then there's also going to be a physical copy for the VR game. So, which I already own the VR game. Depending on how much that is physically, I might go ahead and grab that too.
You're gonna buy it.
Yeah, probably.
I know you are. There ain't no probably. Like I know.
Yeah. But that's all the basic news that we've got for this week. Quite a bit of good stuff. Uh, this next was been what you've been playing. So what have you been playing?
I played a full game of Civ 6 last night.
Mm-hmm.
It took
12 and a half hours.
it did take 12 and a half. It probably took 6. It was long. It was super long. But I've been playing Civ 6, a little bit of Rocket League. I haven't really played a ton of Rocket League this week. I'm trying to get away from it. I've been playing this new game I bought called BPM, or Bullets Per Minute.
Yeah. How is that?
I'm having a fucking blast. It's hard. It's not easy. But no, I'm having a really good time with it. I don't think I've actually played much anything else.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, since it's been 2 weeks since we had the podcast. Now, going forward, it will be the same. I played a lot.
Played a lot.
So I put about 15 hours into Watch Dogs Legion.
Mm-hmm.
I've loved it. Enjoyed the hell out of it. My favorite thing to do is run around with my construction worker, fly around on her drone, and pop people in the kneecaps with a nail gun. I've recruited a mime.
Okay.
Run out, taser some people. Get a bunch of cops chasing you and stuff, and then do your little, run around a quarter, do your little mime pose, and watch them just run right by you.
Yep.
I have a spy. I have a magician. I have an old lady that's a real good hacker, but if you breathe on her the wrong way, she'll die.
I mean, she's an old lady.
Yeah. Which I'm not playing with permadeath on because I'm not trying to stress out like that. But there is a permadeath mode.
Man, that's a big headache.
And one of my favorite things is that whenever you load into the game, you don't create a character. Screen pops up and it gives you like 20 randomly generated options to choose from. So, I ended up picking like this upper middle class British guy that has the ability that whenever one of my people gets arrested, they stay in jail less time because he has police connections.
Oh, yeah. See, that's super cool. That's super cool
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, and your people can also get kidnapped. And then it'll give you a mission to go rescue your people.
Okay.
So it's been fun, and I'm like right at the end of the story. Like I've been so busy doing so much stuff that I haven't been able to finish the story. But yeah,
Right.
and trying to think, I played quite a bit of Dead by Daylight before Beyond Light came out. Bought some killers. Really, absolutely love using Michael Myers and Ghostface
Ghostface is fun.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, played that game quite a bit. Really started to get my bearings in it. Don't enjoy playing a killer. Would rather be one of the survivors. So what we do if we don't have enough people for a full lobby, we'll jump in and just all play as survivors and go up against a random killer.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there's a couple of random killers out there that are bullshit overpowered.
Oh yeah.
hmm The girl that sings and throws the axes is a bunch of bullshit.
Yep, she is.
And the ghost dude that does the electricity thing, he sucks too.
I don't
I,
think I've seen him.
yeah, I'm not a fan of him either. But most of the other ones we handle pretty well. There was this one game, the first game we played, we juked the hell out of this killer for the longest time. And it was just three of us, so we ended up with a random as our fourth, too. So we would run the killer towards our fourth and let him keep him occupied while we went out and did generators.
Right.
And if he would kill him or hang him up, we go get him, heal him, you know, lead the killer back to him, go back out and
Rinse,
do
repeat.
it. Yeah, rinse,
Rinse,
repeat.
repeat.
Rinse,
Yeah.
repeat. Yeah, absolutely. And it was a blast. And the killer just could not keep up with us at all. We juked the hell out of him. Then the
I
next
mean,
game, yeah, the next game
if
we
it,
ran into the axe girl and got slaughtered. So,
oh yeah. I was gonna say if it works, but it don't work all the time.
does not
So
work all the time. But hiding behind things works against her though, and ducking a lot because she throws the axes. They can hit things. So,
yeah.
but,
Still though, having something ranged like that's a little bullshit in my
mm-hmm,
opinion,
mm-hmm.
but because that axe can go a pretty decent ways.
Absolutely, yeah, it can
Like
go.
it's got some range.
Yeah. And that's a game that's getting a free upgrade to next gen consoles.
It
So
is,
yeah,
and good for them.
yep.
That game's been out for a long time and it's still kept its core player base. So
3 or 4 years now,
Yeah,
at
they're
least.
doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've done that. I've played, of course, I mentioned earlier. Played so much Destiny now that my head hurts. And as soon as we're done with the podcast, I'm gonna go grind out my last character for the week. So
There you go.
And I played a little bit of the new indie game that came out for PS4 and PS5 called Pathless. Um, it's made by the people that made Abzu. Don't know if you ever played that underwater exploration game Abzu.
I never played it, but I've seen quite a bit on it.
Yeah, very similar art style, but it's like a open worldy, like very stylistic, very nice looking. I played just 30 minutes of it. I just kind of wanted to get a feel for it, and it's something I look forward to going back to. Uh, I played the hell last night. I say the hell, but I played for like 3 hours. Out of Call of Duty Cold War zombies mode. Went straight to zombies mode. Didn't touch anything else. I was excited to play zombies mode for the first time with a group of people. Like I tried the last time I tried to play zombies. This was during Infinite Warfare, and I would join random lobbies, and I had no idea what the hell was going on, and I just gave up on it.
And people are dickheads
Yeah,
about zombies when you're not in a party.
yeah.
I'm just saying they really, really are. But no, I've been so on the edge of buying this for zombies, and
Yeah.
I've never been a huge zombies player, but I feel like that's what I need to break up the monotony.
Yeah, yeah. It's been very nice, and like I said, I haven't touched the multiplayer yet, and I'm going to play through the story probably tomorrow after I'm done leveling my Titan.
Fun.
So yeah, I always I guess I'm one of the minorities when it comes to I usually the first thing I do in Call of Duty games is the story. There's a lot of people out there that never touch the story, and I always play through it. It's just how I
Um,
am.
well, believe it or not, Call of Duty campaigns aren't bad.
Yeah,
Like most of the time they're pretty damn good. So I know Modern Warfare's in my personal opinion, I know everybody probably doesn't share that opinion. Um but Modern Warfare to me had a really good campaign.
yeah.
Uh,
Modern Warfare had a really good campaign. I enjoyed Infinite Warfare's campaign. Uh,
Never played Infinite Warfare.
I I'm trying to see what other ones that I played through that I enjoyed. Advanced Warfare, the one that had Kevin Spacey in it.
Yep.
I enjoyed that one. Uh, I started Black Ops 3's campaign, and it seemed weird to me, and I never did go back and finish it. And I can't think of.
I didn't play Black Ops 3. I played Black Ops 2. That was the last Black Ops game I'd played.
Yeah, I played through 1 and 2's campaigns like way later, like after. I want to say after Ghost came out. Now the Ghost campaign was just okay. Like I made my way to it. I didn't like the end mostly because we never got a payoff. But that was just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, absolutely excited to play through the campaign. Kind of hits that perfect, 80s Cold War. Ronald Reagan in a cutscene sold me the whole game.
It kind of did me too, because that was a far reach for them, and from everything I've seen, they knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
So you just can't be mad at it, you
Yep.
know.
And I have other games laying around me right now that I haven't touched yet, but I'm excited to
Mhm.
get to after I'm done with my Beyond Light shenanigans. I just last night installed Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as we tell
Nice.
by this shiny steelbook.
Yeah.
But you open the case and Watch Dogs Legion's in there. Uh, which also came in a very shiny steelbook as well, because Ubisoft loves me. And I love me some steelbooks.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
dick.
can't help it. I love a good steelbook.
I mean, everybody loves a good steelbook.
Yeah. And I was really upset that Demon Souls didn't get one, and neither did Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Like, I feel like both of those games will eventually have them.
I could see it. Like, it
It's,
happens.
it's
Like there might be steelbooks from it in other countries too, because
right,
that happens sometimes.
and I was gonna say, from the reception they got, as big as the reception was that they got, I'm sure there'll be like a special edition or something come out for it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all. I mean, a little bit more of Among Us every once in a while. Sometimes you got to break up the monotony. I haven't turned my Switch on.
Man, I think I'm one of the very few, but like that game's just boring to me.
What, Among Us?
Yeah.
Like I like playing it with friends more than anything.
I mean, it's fun with friends, but even to me, like it's I don't know, like 3 games and I'm done with it for like a month. That's just me. Like I don't want to sit and bitch at my friends when they fucking kick me out and I am not the imposter.
You're like, I don't want to talk to you. Get out of my store. I
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
I told you I was doing my task.
I told you. Why were you there so long? Cause Simon Says sometimes is shitty. Like fuck off. The wires are terrible too. What do you want from me?
Mhm.
Like, I'm trying my best here, guys. I know I'm slow, but come on.
It's funny. The other day, I actually got the very rare set of wires where everything was just straight across.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I think I just had to stand here for a second because if I walk away
Yep.
now,
They're gonna they're gonna be like, he ain't doing shit over there. There's
yeah,
no way he did wires that fast.
yeah. And then one game we played like a week ago, I got booted because I was like, follow me and watch me do trash after this. And I went down and did trash. And then I realized that the animations were off.
Yeah.
And 3 people just stood there and watched me on their screen do nothing.
Yep.
And of course, they booted me. So, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else that I'm looking around and I'm looking at my trophy list. I don't see anything new there.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot, or I haven't played a lot of video games these past 2 weeks. I know that seems super odd because that's all I do, but I've been trying to take a break because I've burnt myself out on Rocket League again.
Hmm.
I'm and that's my default game. Like if I have nothing else to play, Rocket League's the answer, and I'm tired of that being the answer, and I'm trying to get away from it. I'm actually
There for a while, you were making NBA 2K21 your go to.
yeah, and then I went straight back to Rocket League.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with Rocket League is I just can't get away from it. So I think I'm slowly just trying to cut it out of my life. Period.
You know, I remember the streamer Hit Me JP for the longest time. He had a problem with getting away from Overwatch,
Mm-hmm.
and it got to the point where he had to uninstall the game and uninstall, I think, the installer,
Yep.
BattleNet, just so he wouldn't default to, well, guys, I don't want to, do this or do that. Let's just hop in and play some Overwatch.
Um, believe it or not, since you said Overwatch, I actually played like 5 or 6 games of Overwatch. So,
I haven't played that game in a long time.
um, I had a good time with it. I was nowhere near as bad as I thought I was gonna be.
Hmm.
I was popping people in the face as Widowmaker. It felt amazing, and I got so upset because I was getting like 3 and 4 feeds. Like I was just like one tapping people in the head, one tapping people in the head, and I never got a play of the game. And I was destroyed. I mean, I was like pink, 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 pink,
And
people
still
falling
nothing.
over. No. And then somebody like stops somebody's ult and gets
Yeah.
play of the game. And I'm like, fuck off. Just fucking right off, straight off. He probably didn't even plan that. That wasn't calculated. He stunned this motherfucker directly after he used his ult and died. And, yeah, that wasn't calculated. You can't lie to me. I know better. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But it's funny though. I only have the only real complaint I have about Day by Daylight is balancing.
Yeah.
But you know me, I'm a trophy person.
You are.
This game has 155 trophies.
Oh my god.
They have added so many DLC trophies to this game that they had to go in and put in a second trophy list. I have never seen that shit before.
I mean, let's be real. That's a lot of trophies. Like,
The average game has between 40 and 61 trophies. The average full size game. Like big release
okay.
game.
Here's a good question. What game has the most?
You know what? Right now it might be Dead by Daylight. Let's
See, that's the reason I asked.
programs most rewarding. Dude, this is might be complicated. Uh, says the one that's the most rewarding is Drive Club because it has a shit ton of gold trophies in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm looking here. Dead by Daylight has 149 trophies. The next closest game is 27, 128. Is Drive Club with 128, and then Minecraft with 127. And Train Sim World 2 has 124 trophies, but only 251 people on this website own it, so I don't know why it has so many. And then ESO has 124. DC Universe Online has 123. So, yeah.
Not to take the focus away from games.
Mm-hmm.
but I need Ben Roethlisberger
To do
to throw
something.
the ball to somebody else other than Johnson,
Huh.
specifically Smith Schuster. Just saying,
Yeah.
I just need him to do something for me.
You're like, Ben, if you could do something, now's the time to do it.
It'd be great.
But that is basically all I've been playing this week. So, as everybody knows, at the end of our shows, we like to do uh, top fives. This week,
Yeah, yeah.
it's launch week. So, what better way to show some love for launch week than to talk about our top five favorite launch games of all time? And I have put a caveat on this because it's not always easy. Not everybody buys a launch, buys consoles at launch. So not only is it top five launch games, but games like the first games you bought with a console. So if you waited a year and a half to get an Xbox or something like that, what was the game that you bought with it at launch? One of your favorites.
Right.
And I will go ahead and let you start off and give us your number five.
Um, so I remember getting a 360 for Christmas, and one of the first games I got, actually a game I got for it on Christmas Day, was Guitar Hero 3. Um, I'm a huge rhythm guy,
Mm-hmm.
especially after talking about the BPM game earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody knows what that is, it's a rhythm shooter. Imagine taking Rock Band and then mixing it with Doom. You have a good game. It's fun, soundtrack's good, but yeah, Guitar Hero 3 was one of my favorite games of all time. All of those Guitar Hero / Rock Band games are super high on my list. I've enjoyed them all. Uh, but yeah, that's just the one I got. Um, the first day I had a 360, I believe. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely wrong with those Guitar Hero games. Um, so my number five is an interesting one because it wasn't technically me buying the console at launch. It was a buddy buying it at launch, but me and him still playing the game for like 30 hours the first week.
okay,
And that is the original Halo.
yeah,
And it was interesting. So, me and a friend that I went to high school with, David, me and him also went to college together. And on the release of the Xbox, he he told his parents that's what he wanted. But he said, I have to be able to get it day one, because if you don't get it for me day one, it's probably not going to be here for Christmas. So they gave him the money, and they gave him the money for a big bundle. That was the first time I'd ever seen a place bundle a bunch of stuff with a console. And it was Circuit City back then, not Best Buy.
I remember Circuit City.
And they took the original Xbox console, an extra controller, and like three games. It was Halo, Dead or Alive, and something else. I want to say like Fusion Frenzy or something like that. That might not be the right game, but all bundled it in with it, and that's what he got. And it was funny because originally he wasn't allowed to open it. Like they told him, yeah, you can get it, but you can't open it. So
Right.
what we did is, as soon as he got it, we went back to my dorm. We hooked it up, set it up, and we carefully unboxed all of it so it could all go back in the box. And we opened the second controller, and we left the second controller in my dorm room so his parents wouldn't know that we opened it. And then me and him went on to play the original Halo quite a bit. And then we ended up hooking it up to the school internet, and because even though Xbox Live wasn't up yet,
Mm-hmm.
you could do local network connection, and the
Yep.
boys' dorm was like the whole dorm was local, was a LAN basically, so we could play against each other, and we had a blast for like 3 days with that, and then he packed it up finally and took it to his grandmother, and he's like, "Oh, here it is. It's been in the back seat of my car. We definitely didn't open it and play it for days." And his grandmother, of course, didn't care and just held on to it till Christmas.
Right.
But
Yep.
yeah, it was it was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was one of the more memorable console launches I ever had. So, what's your number four?
Um, yeah, basically what you just mentioned. Halo. But for sake of saying, to make this a little different, I'll go with Halo 2. Um, now Halo 2 wasn't a launch title, so to say, but when I first got my Xbox, that's the game I got with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Halo 2 changed my life. Like Halo 2 is the reason I still play video games today. Um, but yeah, I mean, I probably have 5,500 hours in Halo 2 alone.
Yeah, I mean, I still play it on the Master Chief Collection. I still own the game.
I don't have it on Master Chief Collection, and I played the game for reasons a lot of other people didn't play the game. Um, I was huge into super bouncing and shit like that.
Yeah.
I was in clans back in the day that made montages of that stuff. Um, and once I learned that in the Master Chief Collection you just can't do that
Huh.
anymore, uh, just not that interested.
Huh. I can understand that.
Because
It took away one of the elements you enjoyed about the game so much.
yeah, I loved glitching the hell out of that game. Um, I don't know why, and there were harmless glitches too, right? Like for instance, like if I hit a super bounce in the middle of a game,
Mhm.
you can destroy me as I'm flying to the moon. Like I'm just saying. But no, Halo 2 instead of Halo 1, even though Halo 1 may be one of the best launch titles of all time, like just period.
Yeah, yeah, no, I could absolutely agree with that. Um, so my number four is the first game that I got whenever I got my GameCube, and
Mhm.
it was a launch title for the GameCube, and it might be one of the weirdest, trippiest games I've ever played. And it's never got a sequel, which was very disappointing, and that was Eternal Darkness.
Mm.
So Eternal Darkness, but like the game was so very crazy. Like the game would start tripping out at different points, and the screen would start flickering, and sometimes it would just randomly invert the controls on you, and
Huh.
say that it deleted your save data, and act like your GameCube restarted, and it was a very interesting psychological game, and is actually one of the rare games on the GameCube now. I think you can't even buy a copy for like retail anymore. So
So it seems like it was the one of the first games to really break that wall,
mhm.
like that fourth wall,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
other than Metal Gear, because I believe Metal Gear would do the
Yeah,
same thing.
with the Psycho Menace.
Yeah,
Yes. And then during at the end of two, when you start finding out everything's a simulation, and
right.
but yeah. So Eternal Darkness was a great game, and I played the hell out of it, and I absolutely loved that game, and own a copy still. Unfortunately, it's not a very clean copy. I don't have a case for it, but I have a disc. So, but yeah, that was my number four. So, what do you got for number three?
Um, I think I'm gonna put Super Mario World in there. Super Mario World is still like my favorite Mario of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It probably will be forever. I don't know. And I think it's more nostalgia than anything. Don't take it as like I think it's the best technical or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just nostalgia. It's
Yeah.
what I grew up with. Um, but no, Super Mario World like changed my idea of what a video game could be.
Mm-hmm.
Because and to for me it was like the first game that had secret levels that I had found. It's the first games that had like small Easter eggs that you could do
Mm-hmm.
that weren't a part of your main direction to the goal.
Yeah.
But no, it was just a game full of content, something I'd never seen before. I'm still trying to learn how to do the credits warp on that game. I'll get back to you when I can do that, though.
Yeah, that's interesting. Very
Oh,
interesting.
pixel and subpixel perfect inputs. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's rough.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that was absolutely a great game, and it was a game I would guess I would consider that a launch game for me on the SNES as well. I'm pretty sure I got that and Mortal Kombat were my first games for the SNES.
I mean, what wasn't it a launch title in general though?
Yeah, it was a launch title in general. Yeah, it was the big launch title. It
Okay,
absolutely
that's what I
was.
thought.
Yeah. And but my number three is a Mario game, but it is Super Mario 2.
Nice,
Yeah.
understandable though.
Yeah, so I did not get my Nintendo right off the bat when I was a kid, but when it came out for Christmas, I got it, and or like w- w- the Christmas after Mario 2 came out.
Hmm.
I got my NES and a copy of Super Mario 2 and MLB Baseball and Donkey Kong Jr. Uh, those were the three games I got for it, and it's a great game. It's still, you know, Mario 1 is iconic. Mario 3 is great.
Yeah.
But I still love Mario 2, even though it's not actually a Mario game. Let people look into that on their own time.
Hmm.
But it's still one that I enjoy very much, and I still have a Game Boy Advance copy of it. And it's one of the games I'm like, yeah, I could absolutely speedrun this. I mean, why not? And I play it on my Switch every once in a while for kicks and
Right.
giggles. It's just absolutely one of those. Yeah, I enjoy this type of games for me.
So I think my number one may like blow your mind. My
Okay.
number two will probably catch you off guard too, but I'm really excited to hear what you think about my number one.
Okay. Well, tell me what you got for number two, then. We'll get there.
Number two, Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. Um, so I never owned a Dreamcast, but my cousin,
Mm-hmm.
literally that lived a stone's throw from me, had a Dreamcast and had Soul Calibur, and that was the first game that really got me into fighting games. It showed me how you could have all these different characters that played completely different and still have some sort of balance
Mm-hmm.
in that. And it, other than like, I mean, Street Fighter kind of has difference in characters, but down to the core, they all kind of play the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? But Soul Calibur went completely away from that. Um, they they just basically made every individual character do something completely different. Um, I think I still remember combos from Maxi back in the day. um,
Yeah. Soul Calibur 1, I was a Cleek Maxi person,
yeah.
and also Voldo. Like I got really good with Voldo.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, like it takes a hot minute to get good with Voldo, but when you get good with Voldo, you get
It's
good with Voldo.
terrifying.
Yeah. But no, yeah, that's a great one. Whenever I got my Dreamcast, I got NBA 2K 21 yeah, 21. Listen to me. NBA 2K1 and NFL 2K1 with it. I had the Jet Black Dreamcast Sports Bundle.
Nice.
I absolutely loved that thing, and kept it for a lot of years after that. But my number two is I did not get a Nintendo 64. I want to say for the first like year and a half they were out. But when I got mine, I got it for my birthday, and a game came. It just came out for it that I absolutely loved and enjoyed, and that was Super Smash Brothers.
Of course.
And I'm talking like I absolutely gutted that game for every ounce of content that was in it. Like there wasn't a lot for it at the time, and I quickly figured out how to unlock all the extra characters.
Hmm.
And I was a Ness main, and people hated me for it. And it got so bad that whenever I would play with other people, I only had three regular controllers and a steering wheel. I would play the game with the steering wheel to give people an advantage.
Wow.
Yes.
Which you did play NAS. You can go fuck yourself.
And I used to be able to like all the shooting, all the challenge maps and stuff they had. I could stand in one spot and clear the whole entire level of like the targets with Ness.
Yeah. Which is bullshit, but I hate NES players. Still to this day, I hate NES players.
I remember accidentally unlocking Luigi, just randomly. That's my first unlocked character, and then it was, let's see, Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon,
Hmm.
and Jigglypuff, I think, was the fourth unlockable character. I seem to recall. Probably wrong. I may be wrong. More than likely wrong. Uh, but yeah. And I've played a lot of Smash games since then, but nothing really hits that nostalgia spot for me like the original.
And nothing ever will.
No.
Like it's just that nostalgia itch.
I I agree with that. So, what do you have for your number one?
You know, man, is it gonna blow your mind?
Okay.
Wii Sports.
I
I
mean, I'm
I'm
not.
not joking.
Yeah, I'm not completely surprised because it is like the one of the highest selling games of all time. Everybody got it with their Wii, and everybody played the hell out of it. So, but
I
yeah, for you it didn't seem like it would fit, but more and more here lately it seems like it makes sense.
I I know. But like here's the thing. I guarantee I have probably at minimum 500 hours in just bowling.
I could absolutely see that.
Like I still to this day I love the bowling in that game. Like it's just so fun. And in my opinion, like Nintendo's always been about family friendly and bringing the family together, and that
Mhm.
was probably the best game to ever do so.
Mhm.
And you got it with the Wii.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's just kind of hard to beat in my opinion.
Mhm.
Uh, when it comes to playability, because you can play that game a billion times and still have fun playing that game. It's interactive. Like you don't just sit down and play that game, which I mean you can. Um, but it's super interactive. It took advantage of like the motion sensing that the Wii had. It showed you really what that console could do,
Mhm.
and you could have fun with your family and tell them to get fucked while playing bowling.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong on that one. But yeah, yeah, it absolutely makes 100% sense to me that that would be your choice for that. But yeah, no, it's a good choice, and God knows, most of us have played the hell out of it. So yeah, absolutely agree with that as something that would be worthwhile.
Hmm.
And so my number one is a game that it's funny because for the longest time I never owned an Xbox 360.
Uh
This
oh.
game technically wasn't a launch game, but this game was also my first game with the 360 and the
Hmm.
reason that I bought a 360. And that is Fable 2.
Ah, yeah, man, I love those games.
Yeah. I never did complete 3, but I really enjoyed Fable 1 and 2. And 2 especially, I had every achievement in the game. And my first character was an evil female. And Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that.
Oh, I want a remake.
Yeah, I mean, technically we got a remake, like a kind of remake of one, but we also know that the fourth one is coming in the next couple of years at some point. So,
Yeah, and we're going a little bit off the rails here, but like after 3,
mm.
I don't know if I have a whole lot of faith in 4. They're gonna have to bring it back real hard.
Well, it's a whole new studio,
It is.
so it shouldn't be quite off the rails as three went, but hopefully it's a lot of fun.
I'm just saying I'm skeptical.
Yeah, I understand that. But yeah, that's our list for this week, and
Hmm.
that's pretty much the podcast for this week, guys. Thanks for everybody that stopped by, and
Wait, do you have any like special mentions like in
special
your launch title?
mentions. Yeah, for me it would be with the Wii U. I got Super Luigi U. That was a lot of fun, and for PS3, the games I got at launch were Modern Warfare 2 and Resident Evil 5.
Hmm.
With PS4, I got Batman Arkham Knight. Uh, with the Switch, I got Splatoon 2. Uh, I'm trying to think. I didn't buy a PS2 for a lot of years. Like the console was basically dead when I bought it. When I bought it, I got Shadow of the Colossus. Uh, when I actually bought my own Xbox, I got KOTOR with it.
Oh,
Yeah, and that almost made the list.
I mean, KOTOR is definitely up there.
Yeah, and I think like what games I got with the launch of consoles.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to look at.
I got Demon Souls. I don't have anything to put it in.
I was I was gonna say I haven't played Demon Souls,
Uh-huh.
but it's done so well. It looks. I've watched tons of content on it. It looks super good. That's
Hmm.
probably got to be in a like special mentions just because it
Yeah.
looks so good. I've never played the game,
Yeah.
but it's Demon Souls, so I mean it's just Demon Souls.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what other things I got whenever I first bought consoles.
It's hard to remember. It's been so long.
I got Pokemon X whenever. No, I got Y. That's right, I had Y. I got Pokemon Y whenever I bought my 3DS.
Um,
Um,
I got Red when I got my GameCube. So, or not GameCube, but
Game Boy
Jesus,
Advance or
thank you,
Game Boy.
Jesus. Yeah, original Game
Yeah.
Boy.
I never had an original Game Boy for a long time. I had a Pocket. But with Game Boy Advance, I got Super Mario 2. So, because that was a launch title.
Right.
Mm, I don't remember the games I got with the PSP, except for like Ape Escape. Uh, yeah, Ape Escape was a launch title. Don't judge. Uh,
I think so. Yeah.
mm, like I said, I got the NBA and NFL 2K ones with my Dreamcast. Damn, I can't think of anything else. Like I didn't get a Wii until way later on. So when I got it, I bought Mario Galaxy and Skyward Sword, same pawn
Mm-hmm.
shop. Um, and
You know what? Like you would have to include Tetris in there for the original Game Boy. I mean, people still play Tetris today. That's probably one of the best launch titles ever.
mm-hmm. And then the original Mario. Like I said, it wasn't a launch title for me, but it was a launch title for millions of people.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much all we got this week, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for everybody that stopped by, everybody that chatted in the chat. And this has been the Geekdom Podcast. I'm Joseph. Nate. We'll catch you guys next week. Or catch you guys in 2 weeks. See you guys in 2
Yeah.
weeks. Later.
Later, guys.